you've written about and made the case that we should take UFO sightings more seriously. So that's one of the things that I've been inundated with, sort of the excitement and the passion that people have for the possibility of extraterrestrial life, of life out there in the universe. I've always felt this excitement of just looking up at the stars and wondering what the hell's out there. But there's people that have more grounded excitement and passion of actually interacting with aliens on this here our planet. What's the case from your perspective for taking these sightings more seriously?
The data from the Navy, to me, seem quite serious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pretend that I have the technical abilities to judge it as data, but there are numerous senators at the very highest of levels, former heads of CIA. Brennan, I talked to him, did an interview with him. I asked him, what's up with these? What do you think it is? He basically said that was the single most likely explanation, was of alien origin. Now, you don't have to agree with him. But look, if you know how government works, these senators, or Hillary Clinton for that matter, or Brennan, they sat down, they were briefed by their smartest people, and they said, hey, what's going on here? And everyone around the table, I believe, is telling them, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that is sociological data I take very seriously. I have not seen a debunking of the technical data.
Yes.
Which is eyewitness reports and images and radar. Again, at a technical level, I feel quite uncertain on that turf. But evaluating sort of the testimony of witnesses, it seems to me it's now at a threshold where one ought to take it seriously.
Yeah, there's one of the problems with UFO sightings is that because of people with good equipment don't take it seriously. It's such a taboo topic that you have just like really shitty equipment collecting data. And so you have the blurry Bigfoot kind of situation where you have just bad video and all those kinds of things, as opposed to, there's a bunch of people, Avi Loeb from Harvard talking about Oumuamua. It's just like people with the equipment to do the data collection don't want to help out. And that creates a kind of divide where the scientists ignore that this is happening, and there's the masses of people who are curious about it, and then there's the government that's full of secrets that's leaking some confusion, and it creates distrust in the government, it creates distrust in science, and it prevents the scientists from being able to explore some cool topics, some exciting possibilities that they should be curious kids, like Avi talks about.
Even if it has nothing to do with aliens.
Yeah.
Whatever the answer is, it has to be something fascinating.
Yeah.
We already know everything's interesting, but this is fascinating. But look, that all said, I suspect they're not of alien origin. And let me tell you my reason. The people who are all gung-ho, they do a kind of reasoning in reverse or argument from elimination. They figure out a bunch of things that can't be. Like, is it a Russian advanced vehicle?
Mm-hmm.
No. Probably pretty good arguments there. Is it a Chinese advanced vehicle? No. Is it people like from the Earth's future coming back in time? No. And they go through a few others. They have some really good no arguments. Then they're like, well, what we've got left is aliens.
Yeah.
This argument from elimination, I don't actually find that persuasive. You can talk yourself into a lot of mistaken ideas that way.
Yeah.
The positive evidence that it's aliens is still quite weak. The positive evidence that it's a puzzle is quite huge.
And whatever the solution to the puzzle is, it might be fascinating.
And it's going to be so weird or fascinating or maybe even trivial, but that's weird in its own way, that we can't set up by elimination all the things it might be able to be.
Yeah. And just like you said, the debunking that I've seen of these kinds of things are less explorations and solutions to the puzzle and more a kind of half-hearted dismissal.
And Avi, as you mentioned to him on your podcast with him, he's been attacked an awful lot.
Mm-hmm.
And when I hear the idea carrier attacked, I get very suspicious of the critics. If he's wrong, like, just tell me why.
Yeah. Like,
my ears are open. I don't have a set view on Oumuamua, I know I can't judge Avi's arguments. He can't convince me in that sense. I'm too stupid to understand how good his argument may or may not be.
And not like you said, ultimately, in the argument is in the meeting of that debate is where we find the wisdom. Like dismissing it, that's one of the things that troubles me. There's a bunch of people like Nietzsche sometimes dismissed this way. Ayn Rand is sometimes dismissed this way. Oh, here we go. Like there's as opposed to arguing against her ideas, dismissing it outright, and that's not productive at all. She may be wrong in a lot of things, but like laying out some arguments, even if they're basic human arguments, that's where we arrive at the wisdom. I love that.